AMD is now the largest gainer in the portfolio in terms of percent gain and cash gain. Right here, you can see we're up 57% on the stock already, which is impressive considering the fact that we started this portfolio 3 weeks ago. Now, if we look right here, the account is currently trading at $11,321.95. We were up 2% in the last trading session. We started this account with $10,000, guys. It's been 3 weeks, so we're already up like 13%. That's really good. Alrighty, I'm going to be covering 3 core subjects in today's video. So the first one is AMD, obviously. We're going to be talking about why this stock is in the portfolio to begin with. What is my plan with the stock? Do I plan on selling it? Do I plan on adding additional shares to my portfolio? What's the plan? And then for the second subject of the day, we're going to be talking about why the politician's trading strategy works. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you might not know this, but literally my account is basically based on what politicians are investing into. So in other words, we're copying politician stock trades, and that's the cool thing about this portfolio, and we get to watch it over time and see how it grows. And we'll see if it outperforms the the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq. But my intuition tells me that we are going to outperform for sure. Okay, guys, and then for the third subject we're going to be covering is we're going to be looking into a trade that a politician that goes by the name of Maria Salazar made. They purchased Peloton stock, which is like a stock that, I mean, if you know stuff about the stock market, you know that this stock is like beaten down and it's kind of been treated like trash for the past couple of years. So it's just an interesting one, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on that. So that'll be towards the end of the video. Now, real quick, before we jump into the meat and potatoes of the video, if you guys like this content, go ahead and leave us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate that. And then one last thing, I was actually able to finally sell the Eli Lilly position in the account. As you can see right here, we got an extra $871 in cash, and I had already had $100 in cash extra at that point in time. So I went ahead and bought Meta, and I bought a share of ServiceNow, and I bought a share of Vistra Energy, just one share of each stock there. Oh, and by the way, this was posted on the 28th in our Discord community. So if you want to join that and get updates, sooner than me posting these videos, then you should definitely join the Discord. Link is in the description. Alrighty, let's talk AMD. So right off the bat, looks like we're up 57% on AMD. I believe, yes, that's the biggest gainer in the portfolio right now. Core Holdings was the largest gainer at some point. Where is it? 38%. I think Core Holdings was up 45% at its peak, and that was just a couple days ago. It's been downtrending a bit since then, so not a big deal. We're just going to keep holding on. And then, yeah, AMD's up 57%. We're up $389 on it. By far, the biggest, best investment so far in the portfolio has been AMD. Makes up 9% of the portfolio. If it keeps trending up like it is, we're going to be over 10% overall weighting in the portfolio. Looks like right now, Meta is our biggest holding, and then right under that is Google, and then we would have AMD. So we're extremely tech heavy. And then we also hold Micron Technology. This is also another company that is very similar to AMD. They both make chips. They are both fueling the AI industry. And then we also have Tempest AI. They don't make chips, I don't think, but they are tied, with all the AI upswings and then crashes. The Tempest AI, I think, tracks right alongside them. If we add those up, we got 5% here, and then we have another 5% here, and then we have AMD. So about 20% of our portfolio is in, heavily into the AI sector. So portfolio is heavily influenced by the AI sector. But you know what? That's what the politicians are investing into. So we're in. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is why we are in AMD. Why is it in the portfolio? Okay. This is just one example and one thing that made me want to get into AMD. Then there's some other reasons, which I'll show you here in a minute. So this is actually a post that I put out on our subreddit. It has 700 upvotes, got a lot of traction. So following politician stock trades pays off again. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene perfectly bought the dip on AMD last year. Marjorie Taylor Greene made a ton of good stock trades last year, and I wish she was still in Congress. She actually left at the end of last year, like around December, I think was the end for that. She left early. So that kind of sucks because she actually was, moving up the ranks in my eyes in terms of, picking good stocks. She's up 343% after today's huge move. And that was 7 days ago. And the stock's up even more since then. So she's up even higher than that. And then I also put this little thing in here. That is if she still owns it. MTG left Congress in January, so we don't know when or if she sold. But congrats to anyone following this one. Yeah, so the reality is that we're never going to know if she sells out because she's no longer in Congress. She's no longer disclosing her stock trades. But here's how I kind of like to look at it. Right now, there are two ex-members of Congress that I deemed very good stock traders: Marjorie Taylor Greene, Mark Wayne Mullen. Both excellent traders. Both bought AMD. However, we're not going to see their stock trades in the future. We're not going to know if they sell. So here's my methodology going in with this. I am planning on holding AMD for at least a year from the time that I purchased it. And then if there's no other criteria screaming that I need to hold this, I'm going to sell it. But there is criteria at the moment screaming that I should just hold on because there's lots of politicians purchasing the stock and holding onto the stock. And I'll show you that here very soon. So here we are on Altoneer.com here, and I have AMD selected. So all we can see here are all the AMD trades. So just first off, I want to show you the Marjorie Taylor Greene trade, if I can. Here it is. So Marjorie Taylor Greene's purchasing this a lot. I mean, let's just filter to Marjorie Taylor Greene actually, just to show you. And this just proves that she's a genius stock trader. Look at this. She's purchasing it all 2025, all 2024, all 2022, and 2021. Are you joking? She's a gazillionaire at this point. And these are like small $15,000 purchases on the large side. But if you purchase a stock that is now up hundreds of percentage points, maybe even thousands. Let's check actually, just real quick. Let's look up AMD. So she jumped into this on January 2021, January time. It's not up thousands, it's up 300%. But imagine putting 15K in several different times, like 15,000, 15,000, 15,000 throughout this time period. You're up a lot. You've made so much money. And also another thing that I like about this is some politicians will, trade in and out of stocks. Marjorie Taylor Greene was consistently purchasing this stock for years, and it's been going up consistently for years. So in my mind, I don't believe that she would be selling this stock anytime soon. Maybe if it runs up a lot more from here, then sure, it would make sense that she would, take some profits on that. And like I said, we're not going to know when she does that, but it makes me even more confident in holding this one for at least a year since Marjorie Taylor Greene jumped in. Now let's unfilter Marjorie here. And I want to show you that Mark Wayne Mullen has purchased this stock too. He's a good example of a trader right there. He's on fire, honestly. He actually disclosed this one really late. He purchased this in 2024. Another good investment right there. He's in AMD. I'm in AMD. It's just a part of the portfolio, guys. So I'll actually click this and see how much he's up. He's up 155% on that one right now. And then if we go to recent, let's just address the elephant in the room here. We have 2 sales on this one, and I'm not too worried about it. Gilbert Cisneros, he's like swing trading out of AMD in and out. I don't really know. He's not super convincing, honestly, of a stock trader, so not a big deal. Cleo Fields, he's putting in some big boy money. I don't think he's selling in and out. Cleo Fields is just loading up. Looks like he's investing for the long term. He's in it for the long haul. So that's also a good sign. So very good for AMD. I also want to add on, like I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene jumped in, Mark Wayne Mullen jumped in. I'm going to be holding for at least a year out into the future. Okay, so now let's run through a hypothetical. AMD goes to like $1,000 per share. We're up big time. We're hitting the big boy numbers at this point. What's the plan? If AMD hypothetically turns into a 25 to 30% position in my portfolio, what am I going to do? Am I going to sell it? Am I going to hold it? What's the deal? I believe that I would be comfortable keeping AMD as probably a 25 to 30% position in my portfolio if that happens within the next year. Right now, it's 9%, so we're not even anywhere close. But if it were to happen, then I think I would keep holding. But if it starts to get to 35% plus, I'm going to start trimming the position, which means I'm not going to sell all of my position out. I'm not going to sell all of my shares. I might trim some off. So like if I have 10 shares, for example, at that point in time, and it makes up 35+% of my portfolio, I might sell a share. I might sell 2 shares just to bring down that portfolio weighting back down on that position. I don't want it to extremely undiversify my portfolio, if that makes sense. Now, one thing that's really cool with AMD is, like since we started this portfolio, which I think is here, would have been when we purchased it, up like 61%. The stock has just been a total rocket ship. What's going on? So the NASDAQ, the S&P, the entire market just a month ago was down. I mean, we were like in a correction. I think the NASDAQ was down like 12 or 13%, I believe. Like it was an extremely obvious buying opportunity. I personally, in my private accounts, I deposited money into my private accounts kind of towards the bottom of that correction there, and I just bought a bunch of stocks. So actually the inception of this portfolio, we were already kind of coming out of that dip pretty far actually. I think the main indexes are probably only down like 5 or 6% at that point when I started this portfolio. So we're just continuing to get that rocket ship. The market just keeps going up. It's relentless out here. But yeah, AMD is going up. Micron is going up. It looks very similar, up 40% in the past month. These AI stocks are just, I mean, it's on fire. It's crazy. So I definitely want this in my portfolio for sure. And then also I want to go back to AMD. And unfortunately, I didn't start this YouTube series soon enough. I should have started it like a year ago, because there's a lot of stuff that you guys have missed out on if you wanted to follow the politicians. Because like you just saw Marjorie Taylor Greene purchased AMD last year. Let's go and see when she would have purchased that. She literally she purchased it like pretty close to the bottom here, I think. So and then she would have disclosed it just a couple days later. So let's just go here. So like around May. It's up 250%, and everybody could have seen that. Literally everybody. I saw it, and it's in my private portfolio. It's my biggest position. AMD is my biggest position. Like in terms of all stocks that I own, including this YouTube account, it is the largest position I have by far, and I am up over 200% on it. It's life changing. Actually, it's insane. But yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, so now that we've done AMD, we are now going to move on to the second subject, which is why the politician stock trading strategy works. This is going to be a little bit more of a teaching session. I haven't really done this yet, so we're getting into some new territory here. So get your notebooks out, get your pen. Let's write down some notes. Let's learn something. So right off the bat, I have this chart pulled up. This is for 2024. The top politician stock traders, this is their annualized return in their portfolios. So already for 2024, David Rouser has 149% return. Can you honestly sit here and say that you would ever, in any single year, get a return of 149%? No, that is ridiculous. It's insane. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, 142% return. Unbelievable. Ron Wyden, 123%. Roger Williams, 111%. Who are these people? How is this happening? This is ridiculous. But here's the magic of it all. We get to track all of their stock trades and make the same returns they do. Baby, let's go. And then we have Nancy Pelosi here, 70.9% return. So like if you guys have been indoctrinated a little bit, and come under the belief that Pelosi is, the best politician stock trader. It's not really true. She just, for whatever reason, has become the poster child of political stock trading. There are other politicians out here that dwarf her returns. It's crazy. And you learn that by actually doing the research like I have done. So, I mean, you should just watch the videos and get on Altoneer and do some research, because you'll find out real quick that Pelosi is not even close to being the best. So just to kind of prove that these politicians just have an edge when it comes to trading stocks, let's just show you some examples. I want to show you these. So Debbie Wasserman Schultz, this one I mentioned, she was the number 2 for 2024, 142% return. Why? Okay, you're about to learn why. So Debbie Wasserman Schultz trading history speaks for itself. So this is actually one she purchased last year, and this is one that's actually in my account. It's the second largest percent gain stock in the portfolio at Core Holdings. She purchased this on August 5th, 2025. It is up 121% since then. And this post was like months ago. She's up way more than that now. There's no word to describe how crazy this stuff is. They're just so good at trading. It makes no sense. Well, it does make sense, and I'll explain why. But she bought Hecla Mining. This is actually a stock that I own as well. She's up 327% since then. She purchased that in 2024. And then she also purchased another stock called New Gold Incorporated in 2024. She's up 736% since then. Does she know something we don't? I don't know. Possibly. It's possible. One thing with Debbie Wasserman Schultz that I'll just tell you right now, so write this down. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is really, really incredible at picking small cap stocks. That's what I pay attention to. It seems like every single small capitalization company that she purchases, just years later, is up hundreds of percentage points. That's a tip that you need to remember. It's the opportunity is just incredible. I can't really explain it. It's just so awesome. I'm so happy that I found this strategy and that I've learned so much. It's awesome. All right, next up we got what is this? Ro Khanna. So following politician stock trades never fails, and that's because of Rep Ro Khanna's what is that? April 23rd, 2025 purchase of Western Digital Corp. It's up 686% since its buy. This is just an example of how politicians can just pick stocks and they just explode. And look at this one. Since the day he purchased it, it never went negative. It was just straight up from there. All right, next up. Well, that paid off nicely. On 5/10/2024, Rep Susie Lee purchased $15,000 of Rheinmetall, ticker RNMBY. And in this one, I really want you to pay attention to this, because we are now getting into another like kind of thinking process here with these trades. So here's why it matters. Rheinmetall is a German arms manufacturer. Company located based out in in Germany. Don't flag me for that. But anyway, this company, they build tanks and possibly rockets and some kind of stuff. They win military contracts and all that kind of stuff out in Germany. Now, she happens to sit on the defense subcommittee. Yes, it's for the United States, but I mean, she's probably getting fed information about, all types of stuff regarding military, including, U.S. bases out in Germany, possibly, that kind of stuff. And she hasn't sold a single share since buying. Now, her unrealized gains are pushing $41,000, and that's because Rheinmetall is up 279% since her buy. I actually don't know what it's up right now at the moment. This post was, when was this? January of this year. This is an example of how these politicians might have a little bit of extra insight on these companies. I'm not going to say the word. You know the word. Insider. Now, just to protect myself, Susie Lee doesn't know anything, okay? She knows nothing. And then the last example I want to show you is, this is why we track Rep Rob Bresnahan's trades. Back on 5/15, he purchased Caterpillar. As of now, he's up 80% on the trade. I think he's up over 100% now at this point, now at the market rallying back up past all-time highs. You know what's sketchy? He sits on the House Agriculture Committee. This is what we like to call a golden trade. Here's the cool thing about golden trades. On our website, the feed of trades come through, and some of them are highlighted in gold, so separated from the rest of the trades. That is because that politician sits on a committee that has direct jurisdiction over that company's industry that they just traded on. This trade also is a golden trade, just so you know. So that's something that Altoneer has innovated on. I haven't seen anybody else do it before, and it helps a lot to have all these trades highlighted in gold for you. Really helps out a lot. Just to show you what a golden trade visually looks like, here's one right here. That's what it looks like, separated from the rest. Okay, so how is it possible that these politicians are making these absurd returns in the stock market? Most people point their finger and they say, hey, you have special information that the rest of us don't have. Is that true? Absolutely. Now, I'm not saying that every single trade they make is influenced by this knowledge that they have, but a good handful of them likely are. These politicians have private briefings from government agencies. They've got classified intelligence going on, especially on defense and foreign policy and all that kind of stuff. And then they also get like early policy details about laws, regulations, and like government spending. And they also have these meetings with lobbyists and executives of these massive companies all the time. The list just goes on and on. There's so many opportunities to get some edge on an industry or on a stock, like market moving information. They get this pretty consistently, actually. So it's unbelievable. And it's because of all of those things that I listed and the fact that they can trade stocks that makes it imperative that we follow their stock trades. So with that being said, let's move on to the next segment here. We're going to be looking at Salazar, Representative Salazar. So I posted this on our Twitter, on our X page. It is actually one of, not quite the top post ever, but it went viral. I posted this, I think, 7 days ago, something like that. It went viral. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So here's how it goes. Buy the dip. We just received 25 new trades worth $865,000 from Rep. Maria Salazar. So just to clarify, she dropped a disclosure that had 25 trades. And if you count them all up, all the dollar amounts, she traded $865 in the market. She injected that much into the market on the high side. Now the conviction is real because every single trade was a purchase. Here's just some trades that she made. Citigroup, $65,000 into that. Goldman Sachs, $100,000 into that. Peloton, $30,000. Honeywell, this is a defense contracting company, $50,000. Boeing, also a defense contracting company, $65,000 into that and more. So far, the most aggressive / strange buy the dip trade has been Peloton. Why? For starters, Peloton is down 96% from its all-time highs. And I made this little graphic here so you guys can visualize that. The stock is already up 23% since her entry on 3/19. And it's the first time a sitting politician has bought since 2021. Yeah. The last time a politician bought it was here. So that politician got totally screwed. And then there's this long stretch of nothing. And then Maria Salazar jumps in. Honestly, I can't sit here and say that Maria Salazar is a good stock trader because there's just not enough data. It seems like she's just recently started trading stocks. So I can't really say definitively that, hey, this is going to be a good one. Like, I don't know. That's how it works. Like, every election cycle, new politicians will come in and some of them will just start trading and you just don't know yet. You don't know if they're good. It takes like a year or two to really figure out if a politician is good at trading stocks. So for these ones, I kind of just sit on the sidelines and just wait and see what happens. That's kind of my thinking process with that. All right, let's go to the next one here. So if you guys want to take it to the next level and you want to join the community and you want to get updates on the portfolio before I even post it here on the YouTube channel, and you want to ask questions and have them answered by me as soon as possible, join the Discord. The link is down below. Also, if you want access to Altoneer.com and all of the features and all of the software and the trades, they come in pretty much every single day. There's new politician stock trades to sift through. It's good stuff. You get alerts straight to your email. Also, alerts get sent into the Discord automatically. So If you want access to that stuff, links are in the description. Now, we do have some pretty cool stuff going on with the product. So I'm going to hop on a call with Landen, the developer, and we are going to talk more about it. So let's jump in. All right, guys. So today we are going to be covering reports. This is something I don't think we've covered yet. We do research on the politician data like daily. So when we find something interesting, we let you know about it by posting a report. So Landen, could you go ahead and maybe click on a report just so we can show them what it's like and what it looks like in there? Okay, so Landen's chose the Josh Gottheimer post. So basically, we found something interesting where Josh Gottheimer purchased $1 million of Microsoft call options. And turns out that this politician used to be an executive at Microsoft. Okay, there's the connection right there. The dude might have some sort of insights on Microsoft that none of us have, and it looks like he's up. Landen, show him. There's like an interactive chart for you guys, so it just makes it easier to visualize what's going on. So play around with that a little bit. Show them the features of the charts.
Got S&P here, and compare it to the Dow Jones, all the indexes. You got 5 year, 1 year, whatever you want. So cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And you can click, drag, and see percentage gain or decrease in like a specific time range. So, yeah, pretty cool just to help you guys visualize stuff. And then also, I don't know if you guys can see it, but up there in the top left corner, it says Josh Gottheimer. So it's like clickable. So what happens when you click that, Landen? Takes you to all of Josh Gottheimer's stock trades. So if you're reading about a politician and you're like, wow, this is a really cool trade. Wow, they must be really good at trading. I want to see more of their trades. All you have to do is click that button and it takes you straight to all of their other trades. So, okay, guys. So to sum it all up, the reports are here to just help you guys out. We know you're doing the research on the website. You're digging through filings and stock trades constantly. And this is just a way to kind of just show and remind you like, hey, we are also doing this too with you guys. Like we are sifting through the trades. And it also helps you guys just over time figure out what's worth looking into. So you might visualize the trades and see the trades at the same time that we are, and you might miss something. And we come out and are like, yo, we found this within this batch of trades that maybe you didn't. And here it is. And here's why it was useful. And it'll help you guys learn about how to pick stocks and find the winning ones in the group of all the politician stock trades. So that's why we do this. That's why we post on YouTube here. That's why we post on all the platforms, just trying to let you guys hear the word about the politician stock trades. And this is just one way that we do it. So if you want to go to reports, Landen, will you show them how to subscribe to it so they can get notifications to their email?
Yeah, it's just this super quick.
Boom, subscribe.
Anytime a new report comes out, it goes straight to your email.
Yep. And just to let you guys know, to subscribe to the report, these reports, it is completely free. We're sending it straight to your email. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button on altoneer.com. It's definitely worth it. Landen, any last words?
Peace.
Peace out.